Hey guys, what's up? This is Hex, and if I seem like I'm out of sorts, I actually am. Um, I have been having allergies really bad for I think this past week and a half, so I do apologize for that. But so just kind of bear with me. But today's topic that I wanted to talk about was the horror genre in games, like survival horror. Do I think it's a dying genre? um, standing back and just taking a look at it, it does seem at first like it is, like it's on its way out because what's big right now? First-person shooters, games with a lot of microtransactions and multiplayer, especially multiplayer. Just something that kind of milks some money out of you. And and I'm not really knocking first person shooters. If you enjoy that sort of thing, more power to you. I personally like first person shooters myself, but I feel that it's too much. It's too saturated in the market right now, and I think we need variety, um, especially in the horror genre. And I think what was it? The last survival horror game was like Resident Evil 7, I think, off the top of my head. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. There might have been others, but apart from that, there hasn't been really too many. And if you go back to like the original PS1, you had Silent Hill, you had Resident Evil, and those games right there, you know, they established what survival horror was about, and it took off from there because when you went to like the PS2, you still had your Resident Evils and your Silent Hills, but then it expanded to like Siren, The Suffering, Fatal Frame, and that to me right there was the pinnacle of survival horror. A lot of good games being brought out. Now, when the PS3 came out, they were still there, but you could tell it was starting to kind of uh, fade off a bit. You still had, uh, let's see, Dead Space, um, Dead Island, and so on. But you could tell it wasn't as strong as it used to be. And of course, now in current consoles, like the PS4, the Xbox One X, it doesn't really seem like it's it had a hold on the games in general like it once did, which is very very disappointing because I look around and I don't really see a whole heck of a lot. You have uh, horror games that are on Steam, for the PC, but a vast majority of that is just it just seems to me just copying what PT did and not very well. It's always the same thing. If I had a quarter for every time I saw a game where you're trapped in a house or apartment, with a flashlight trying to get out, I'd be rich. They're just rehashing the same thing over and over again. Just no originality to it. And I really wished that Konami would have just not dropped the ball and had released, Silent Hills. The demand was there, but I feel like a lot of these companies won't put them out because it's all about money now. You know, if they put out like if Konami, you know, and I truly believe this, even though I have no 100% proof on this, but judging from the stuff that they put out and their business model now, they just seem more interested in making money. And you know, with microtransactions, that's where they're going to go. And you really can't put a whole heck of a lot of that in a single player game. And I think in their eyes, they were looking at Silent Hills going, well, okay, we're going to put a lot of money into this. And yeah, it'll probably sell well, but we want a buttload of money back. How are we going to get that money back? And of course, they canceled that project, which was the one of the biggest mistakes that Konami has ever made in their history. It's just really sad how bad they went downhill. They used to be a very good company, but it's just right now they're just shit. I'll be honest, they're just shit. And it seemed like the only things that are keeping horror games afloat are like the indie developers. Um, you know, real good example of a good game is Yomawari, uh, which is kind of like this really weird, cutesy-ish style sort of characters, running around. It's like a top view, kind of like a isometric sort of thing, but still very dark and creepy and disturbing. And that kind of thing. Like play, there's others that did, like kind of like the retro style stuff, like Home and Claire, which are actually really good. And that's really what I want to see. I want to have these games. I would love to see games like this brought back to their former glory. And I'm not talking about stupid ass shit with jump scares. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with jump scares. But when you have games like Five Nights at Freddy, which is nothing more than just jump scares, that to me is not really a horror game. It's kind of like the equivalent of being stuck inside a haunted house, little one of those little fun houses. We go there and you get scared for a bit and then you're fine. There's no lingering horror there, and there should be. I want to feel creeped out. I want to feel disturbed. Not just if you want to have jump scares, that's fine, but use them sparingly. Like they did, with early Silent Hill and early Resident Evil. That but have really creepy music. Have like a lot of ambiance to it. That's what I want to see, and I'm sure that's what a lot of uh, you know survival horror fans want to see as well. We want to see that return. Now it's up in the air whether or not it's going to happen. I'm hoping so. I've got my fingers crossed on this. But right now, we're supposedly at the end of this, uh, our current console cycles, and that kind of, that really bothers me because I'm just like, we still have yet to see some more good, strong horror titles, and I'm hoping that maybe, with this newer system, maybe we might get our wish and have that sort of thing. But it's up in the air right now. Who knows? The horror genre is still there, but we'll see. You know, if it we're down the road it takes off or not. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys for today. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I hope to talk to you guys real soon. Take care.